Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to break down for you guys and gals these 6 exercises that you probably should be doing. And what I'm going to say is that if you do nothing but these 6 exercises and their alternatives, you will probably be okay. Now, am I telling you that's all you will ever need? No. I'm just saying that you will be pretty jacked, pretty strong top to bottom, and be pretty fit overall if you focus on these 6, and of course you do cardio and have a good diet and everything. So right up front, bench press, America's favorite lift, everybody's favorite lift, bench press. Now, as an alternative, because some of these I'm going to put alternatives in, some people are like, I don't like the bench, it doesn't feel right, I don't feel it in my chest. Okay, incline bench as an alternative is fine. Here I am repping out high rep set with 225 on it. Now, I generally prefer the flat bench. I will say that for most guys, it's going to build a bigger chest. It is going to build more size and strength on you. But alternatively, there's probably not going to be a big difference between that and the incline. We could make the case for the incline being great for overall aesthetics. I actually happen to be a big fan of the incline. I just don't think it outshines the bench press. And I'll break down all these. I'll show them through here and then I'll discuss them further so that we get a full video out of it. All right, up next, overhead press, standing barbell press. Now, there are times when I like to do seated. I like to do a lot of other shoulder work. I think delts can be pretty important for aesthetics. But if you're doing other back work and things like that, which will hit the rear delts, side delts, and you do this, you're probably going to be pretty good. Now, you guys are going to notice, a few of these are standing structural exercises. And because if you aren't going to do too many exercises, you really need multiple movements to where you are loading your spine, where you are getting core training and all those things. And so these fit the bill. Up next, barbell back squat. This is the king of exercises. I don't consider this really optional for most people unless you have injuries or inflammation or problems where you cannot perform it. I generally think everyone should be back squatting. All right, everybody, including your grandma, should be back squatting. I have an aunt who holds an American squat record, and she's past 70 years old. So again, don't want to hear your excuses unless you have an injury preventing it. King of exercises. Conventional deadlift. Notice I didn't say sumo deadlift, I said conventional. This balances out the back squat extremely well. Okay, these two together will handle most of your lower body training. Am I saying that's all you'll ever need? No. I mean, I could make a case for needing to do some calf work right on top of that. But we're talking about if we're only going to do 6 movements, could we get by with these 6? And the other thing to think about with these is that if you go through a period of time where you can't get much training in, at least if you focus on these 6, you will be okay. Up next, pull-ups, preferably weighted pull-ups. Again, arguably one of the greatest exercises of all time. Okay, pull-ups. An athlete can move their body through space. This will build amazing lats, amazing grip. It'll even help with your arms to some extent, although you guys are going to notice I have curls in here. Again, pull-ups. Now, not everyone can do pull-ups. Not everyone can do assisted pull-ups. As an alternative, just like we had an alternative to the flat bench. Notice I didn't give you alternatives to the squat or the deadlift. That's for a reason. All right, barbell rows. Okay, barbell rows will work if you can't do pull-ups. Do I think it brings everything to the table? No. In fact, when deadlifts are combined, it actually makes certain benefits to this less valuable. But notice, of course, I like to do a underhand grip. I'm doing a Yates row here, supine grip. Generally what I feel gives me better muscle growth. But again, I'm a fan of all types of rows, but a standing barbell row. All right, if you can't do pull-ups. And then last but not least, barbell curl. Now, you can do it with a straight bar. You can do it with an easy bar. When I go closer grip, like an easy bar like this. If I do it wider grip, I like a straight bar. All right, so I'm going to go into kind of a little bit of why we're picking all these. The barbell curl is obvious. These others will leave you lagging biceps. Unless you have great bicep genetics, pull-ups and rows are not going to maximize your arm growth. They're just not. But the pull-ups combined with the pressing will still give decent tricep gains. Your biceps are always going to lag. Now, am I saying you probably won't need some tricep work if you really want massive arms? No, you probably will need some sort of tricep work. Extensions, pullovers, things like that. But what I presented here will get by for most people. They'll still have pretty decent triceps, especially if they do the pull-ups, which will work the long head a little. But again, we're just trying to cover the basics. But with the curls, your arms will really lag if you don't do any curls, if you purely try to focus on those others. So that's the reason I have them in there. Now the bench press, the obvious, the amount of muscle used in the upper body, the popularity of the lift is kind of a big deal. You're going to be compared to other people on it. And it is an amazing mass builder. Every expert in sports science and stuff will tell you that it is a great test of strength. But again, having in there incline benches is a viable alternative if you just really hate the bench. And again, the incline bench is a great lift in its own right. I mean, obviously, I like it. You guys see me training it right here. I'm decently strong at it. Now, again, you combine either one of those with an overhead press, you're going to end up with pretty good, front delt development, pretty good upper chest development, all those things. Like this will balance stuff out a lot. Again, plus it's a nice, good structural exercise like the squat and deadlift. You're going to have pretty good trunk stability. Again, this brings a lot to the table. So then we get over to those back exercises. All right, the pull-ups. Pull-ups will help a lot with your rear delt, especially the wider grip like I'm doing. Yes, it's going to be primarily a lat exercise, but it will help with the traps. It will help with the delts. So unless you're chasing just really great delts, in which case you are probably going to want to isolate them. I do. Okay, so I want to be clear on this. I isolate most of these muscles. I isolate delts, triceps, calves, everything. Just want to be clear on that. Forearms, neck, I do all that. But these are staple exercises. Okay, they're staple exercises. But again, if you can't do the pull-ups, rows will do a lot of that same stuff. Pull-ups or rows combined with the overhead press will build decent shoulders. It'll get you a good base. You won't be winning any bodybuilding shows, of course, but you're going to have pretty good shoulders. And again, back over the squat and deadlift. Squat's king of exercises. It will build quads, build glutes. Core stability, the deadlift just builds everything. Builds glutes. Builds hamstrings. Builds erectors. Can even help build your traps. So again, we talk about traps, grip, all that stuff. Between the pull-ups or rows and the deadlifts, those things are going to be covered pretty well. So again, when you start taking this all together and you look at these 6, are you potentially going to have some weaknesses in your physique still if this is all you did? Sure. But for the average person, you're going to look ridiculously jacked. If you get really good at all 6 of these and you train them, you're going to look great by most standards. You may not be the most jacked or impressive person in the room, but you're going to do pretty dang good. You'll be pretty strong, you'll be pretty fit, and you'll have your bases covered. So again, I would consider these 6 to be foundation builders, and you should be doing them. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.